Being a filmmaker is hard, and you're not alone in feeling that way. I want to share 3 traits that I think can help creatives, entrepreneurs, artists, designers, and filmmakers, and basically anybody who has dreams or ambitions who are maybe struggling. So to break down why I'm actually making a video about this, I have received multiple DMs, texts, calls, and I've even seen a lot of videos from artists that are out there who I would consider far more talented than me. I'm having world-class DPs reaching out and asking for jobs, for advice, for help, for opportunities. I'm seeing directors who are expressing frustration over their treatments or their pitches never getting picked. And I'm seeing videographers out there who are expressing their frustrations with the lack of opportunities, the frustration of not seeing their work progressing, and overall just feeling alone and isolated. And again, these are exceptionally talented individuals who are also out there struggling. So if you're struggling, I want you to know that you are not alone in the feelings of imposter syndrome, isolation, and overall dissatisfaction. I want to share with you guys a story about a time where I personally was really struggling as an entrepreneur, as a husband and father, and overall just as a person. I was going through a very dark time where my business partner had just left and our company overall was in a very, very tough spot. I wrote down this story because it's very meaningful to me. It's had a major impact on my ability to overcome challenges and stay the course. So listen to this story and hopefully it helps you too.
While walking into our house after another long day of work, the last thing I wanted to do was help my wife Megan put down our passionate and enthusiastic 2-year-old Olive. Work had almost never been more draining and difficult. My business partner of half a decade had decided he was burnt out and needed to go on do his own thing. The years of grind had resulted in very little monetary relief. I was sprawled out, laying on the back of the couch and staring at the ceiling. I knew that we were running out of money, and if we didn't figure things out, we'd have to let go of our entire team, and that included 2 of my brothers. My hands were wringing, and despite it being December and snowy outside, I was sweating due to the stress and pressure that I was feeling. I was so wrapped up in my thoughts that I didn't realize that Megan had come downstairs until she put her hand on my shoulder and said that Olive had asked that I go upstairs to rock her to sleep. I grumbled, saying something about how it's been a hard day, and Megan, my wife, just gave me an encouraging and understanding smile and said, "She's waiting for you." I walked upstairs and opened the door to find my little girl Olive holding a book and smiling up at me. My eyes immediately started welling up with tears. I picked her up in her moon and star-covered PJs and sat down on our thrifted rocking chair. We rocked back and forth and reading Goodnight Moon, and for the first time in a while, I just held her and started talking to her like a friend. Eventually, I found myself talking maybe a little too openly about my fears and stresses at work and acknowledging my limitations and weaknesses as her dad. What happened next was exactly what I needed to hear. She put her hand on my cheek while looking up at me and said, "Dad, thank you for our house." Tears began to fall openly from my eyes while my perfect daughter held my cheek and just looked at me smiling. It was all worth it. The pain of feeling alone at work, the constant emotional weight of not having enough money, the long days that I wasn't able to be there for my family. It was all worth it. This precious soul that God had given us to raise and love knew that she had a home where she was safe and happy, and she knew that my efforts were what helped make that a reality. My money problems didn't disappear, and things took a long while before they actually smoothed out, but I was able to hold on and look forward to the future with faith. God wanted me to succeed as a provider and a father, and I knew that because Olive Joy told me so.
So hopefully that story was impactful to you guys. I know for me, it's still a very big source of strength. But I know some of you out there aren't fathers or maybe haven't had experiences like that. So again, I want to get into a little more practical advice and break down 3 traits that I really do believe have not only helped me survive the difficult things that I've been through, but have helped me be able to succeed. And more than anything, it's made me be able to endure these difficult times and be happy. So the 3 traits that I want to walk through are number 1, tenacity, number 2, candor, and then number 3, patience. With tenacity, I think it is a very underrated and underutilized trait. Especially nowadays, there are many of us who start down a path or have an objective, and as we move towards it, there are obstacles, challenges that come in our way. And rather than work and stick with it to overcome, many of us start to pivot and to change our focus, really just try to remove ourselves from this painful, difficult situation. And I believe that is a huge mistake. Many of the filmmakers, entrepreneurs, and overall just good humans that I look up to and aspire to be like are people who have stuck with something and worked to overcome a challenge. The traits of tenacity, resilience, and perseverance are truly underutilized and underrated. Stick with something and you will win. Trait number 2 that I would say is important is candor. Be somebody who is willing to candidly be open and share with other people the things that you are going through. During difficult times, when depression, when fear, when frustration are able to creep in, they generally thrive in isolation. If you're not talking to other people, if you're not sharing the experiences and things that you're going through, you're only going to continue to have a compounding effect of these dark thoughts and this weight on you. A way to dissipate that almost immediately is being able to open up in a positive, constructive way with other people who are probably going through the same thing. Number 1, it's going to help you not feel so alone. And number 2, it's going to be able to help you get your thoughts and your feelings out there. Interestingly enough, once you speak those things into existence and you're able to start looking at them a little more objectively and getting somebody else's input, you're probably going to be able to find a way to overcome it, to improve, to at least make it feel a little bit less scary because now you went through the effort of defining what the problem is or what the struggle you're experiencing is. Having that candor can decrease loneliness and really increase the positivity in your life if done the right way. And last but not least, exemplifying patience is a very, very rare trait. And this might be the most important one of all. Good things take time, and you can't rush the process. A great anecdote for this would be looking at bamboo trees and how long they take to grow. When people initially plant them, they water them, nothing happens. In fact, no visible results actually show for over 5 years. During that time where it looks like nothing is growing, in reality, there are roots going down extremely deep that are intertwining with others to build a strong and sure foundation, when on the outside, it looks as though nothing is happening. Then all of a sudden, after about 5 years, within 30 to 90 days, crazy change takes place, where they shoot up and they grow over 30 feet in just 3 months, which is pretty phenomenal. A lot of people who don't exemplify patience would have probably given up. They would have stopped watering or cultivating or waiting for these things to grow. But what I can tell you is there are those moments of that compounding effort that over time suddenly result in the growth, in the opportunity, in the progression that you've been looking for. And again, these things take time. I've been doing filmmaking for almost a decade now, and I've been pursuing this and trying to make it a career for a long time. And I'm still nowhere near where I want to be yet, but I know there are many of you who are looking at some of the things that we've been able to do and saying, I don't know if I'll ever be able to get there. But honestly, if you're able to stick with it, if you're able to exemplify patience, I promise you will probably achieve, if not far surpass what I've been able to do by just sticking with it, being candid, and exemplifying patience in the process. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of open and honest conversation. I wanted to share some of the ways that I've struggled in the past, and I wanted you most of all to know that you are not alone. There are many other individuals out there who are going through the same things that you are. And the best way to negate this is for us to open up and talk about it as a community. If you're struggling, that's normal. That is part of the growth process. If you need help, reach out. If you want to talk more about this, if you have any questions or ways that I can help you, or you want to tap into this awesome community that we have, feel free to drop your questions or your experiences down in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. I'm hoping to make more videos like this, not only about this, but about my personal growth and progression as a filmmaker, an entrepreneur, and overall just aspiring good human. So look forward to more videos here on the YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this one.